Hello and welcome to this section on abstract classes and methods. Well, let's look at what you will learn in this section. Well, after completing this section, you will be able to understand what is abstract classes and methods. You will learn how to declare those classes and methods as abstract. And you'll understand abstract class with non-abstract methods. So you can define abstract methods and also non-abstract methods. And you can do that inside the abstract class. You'll understand how a child class can extend from the abstract class. You'll also learn what is the real life use cases of abstract class. Then work with exercises and assignments and some of the resources and quiz to understand this concept better. So let's dive into the lecture and understand abstract classes and methods. Hello and welcome to the lecture. Let's understand what is abstract classes and methods. A class that we do not want to create object are defined as abstract classes. Even for interface, you cannot create an object. The definition of an abstract class could be a class that you don't want to create an object. Okay, you want to access the methods of that class, but you don't want to create an object and access it. You want to directly access those objects. In those scenarios, you will define your class as abstract. That is the first reason you choose to write an abstract class. Well, this is the rule of an abstract class. When any of the method in a class is defined as abstract, then that class will become as an abstract class. Okay, and what is an abstract class? A class that we do not want to create an object, but we want to access those methods of a class without an object. Okay, we don't want to create an object, but we want to access the methods of the class, then that class becomes an abstract class. And how it becomes an abstract class? When you define a method as an abstract, when you put that keyword to a method as an abstract, that class itself will become an abstract class. Okay, which means when you define a class and any of the method is an abstract class, means you can access that method without an instance. Okay, we're going to do an example. You're going to understand this concept. The methods that are declared as abstract must be defined in the child class. So if a class extends from an abstract class, then that class has to implement the abstract class. So you'll understand this more when we do an example. The abstract class are like interfaces. It's exactly the same concept, but abstract class can have normal methods implementation. This is the only difference between interface and an abstract class. In the previous section, when we looked at interface, we only defined the structure of a method. We never implemented it. In interface, you cannot implement a method. Well, that's the difference between an interface and an abstract class. Interface, you just define the methods. Abstract class, you can define the methods and also you can implement the methods. Okay, it's like partially interface and partially a class. Okay, so let's look at an example. So this is how you define a class as an abstract. There's a keyword called abstract, and using this keyword you can mention a class as an abstract class. When you mention a class as an abstract class, you can do two things inside the class. One, you can declare the methods. You can declare, implement all those core logic of the method. You can also choose to have methods which you don't implement them. You can just declare them. So it's partially an interface and partially a class. You can do the definition of an methods via like an interface, and also you can implement the methods like a class, and that becomes an abstract class. So how do you extend an abstract class? You just say sports car is a class which extends the abstract class car. So when the sports car extends the abstract class car, it has a method that has to be defined. So like an interface, it is in contract, it's an agreement that sports car now must have to apply or implement the apply break method in its implementation. Okay, and abstract is a keyword is used to define the class or method as abstract, and you cannot create instance of an abstract class. As you have seen previously, you cannot create an instance of an interface. Similarly, if any of one method is defined as an abstract or the class is defined as an abstract, then you cannot create an instance of an abstract class. Okay, so let's understand this in more detail. So let's understand you have a parent class. you have a child class, and child class extends the parent class. Then basically you can do two things. First thing is you can define abstract method in the parent class and say, okay, this is the method I want child classes to implement it. It's like a contract that abstract class is saying. And this contract, when a child extends the parent class, it will does the implementation of those abstract methods. Whatever methods mentioned as abstract and not defined or not implemented in the parent class, the child class has to implement them. And also the parent class can have method implementation, so it can just normally write a method, write echo statements, completely implement it. But now the child class can access those methods. It can do the override as well. It can also access those methods and use those methods for as a terms of an inheritance. Okay, so one thing you note is the parent class, which is an abstract class, you cannot create instance of this abstract class. This is a by definition of an abstract class which you cannot create an instance. Okay, the child class extends the abstract class. It can do the extension of the abstract class, but you have to understand this concept of abstract classes. It is easy to understand. It's partially an interface, partially a class. Okay, it's combined, both the concepts combined together, it becomes an abstract class. Okay, abstract class have abstract methods, definition, contract that a child class has to implement. It has also have the normal methods implemented, and then you cannot create an instance of an abstract class. Okay, so these are the rules that when you define an abstract class, you have to remember it. There will be a situation wherein you want to implement like an interface, but in those cases some of the methods you want to really implement it. In this case you don't create an interface, you go for an abstract class. Okay, well, that's all the definition about what is abstract class. Let's write an example to understand this. Welcome to the lecture on creating an abstract class. So let's create an abstract class and understand the concept. Let's create a file. So to define an abstract class, you can mention the keyword abstract. Then you can define the normal class, say a car class, and then you can define an abstract method. Let's say apply break. Okay, and you can choose not to implement it. You can also choose to have a hello method, and you can just actually implement those methods. Okay, now you can have a class that extends the abstract class. Now you have to implement the apply method. So let's see what happens if you don't implement it. Then we'll see if you create an instance what will happen, and then we'll understand the concept. Okay, so the sports car contains one abstract method and must be declared abstract. Because you have mentioned it as abstract, so it's saying you have to implement it. Okay, and that method is apply break. So let's implement apply breaks. Okay, and let's run this. So it's not able to accept the definitions. Okay, and let's try to create an instance and then try to call the hello method. And now I'm calling the parent method from the child class object. Okay, so you have the hello from the car class. Okay, and let's try to create an instance for the car and see what happens. By definition, you cannot create instance of abstract class. This is the definition. Okay, and it'll error out. Okay, you cannot instantiate the abstract class. If you just remove all the abstracts keyword, then you should be able to create the instance of it. Okay, but you cannot create an instance of an abstract class. Any method that is defined as abstract has to be implemented in the child class. Okay, and you can also have a combination of abstract methods and normal methods, and then normal methods will be inherited by the child classes, and then they can able to access them. Okay, so that's the definition about an abstract class. It's basically a combination of interface and a class. I've repeated this couple of times just to help you understand and stick this concept in your mind. When you have a situation wherein you want to declare some of the methods and don't implement it, you want to implement in the child class, and it has to be a contract that child class must implement that, but you still want to write some of the methods and implement them in the parent class. So for that use cases, you define it as an abstract. Okay, so that's all on this lecture of how to declare abstract classes and methods, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the lecture on use cases of abstract classes. Let's see some of the use cases where you can define an abstract class. A utility class is basically a good example of an abstract class, wherein you want to make sure that that class, if someone want to enhance it, then they have to implement those methods. There are some methods that you want the child to access it. Okay, then that will be a good case for an abstract class. An abstract class means you do not want to create the instance of this class, but you want to use its methods in the child classes. As I told you, it's a utility. You don't want to create an instance and access it directly, but it's like an helper class for your child classes. Your child classes want to extend that so that it gets the help of its additional method so that it can do more further processing of your actual class. Okay, so it's like an helper class or a utility class. Or you want to enforce some of the child classes to implement some methods before using the class methods. It's also like an interface wherein you can define abstract methods and you want to enforce child to implement those methods. So in these use cases, you can use abstract classes. An abstract class are library classes that you want to extend and use it as a library methods. So there will be cases wherein you can write a library class and define it as an abstract, and you don't want to create an instance of it. You just want your child class to use those features and enhance the existing functions that it has. Okay, so in these use cases, you basically go for an abstract class. Okay, so that's all in this lecture on use case of abstract classes, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the exercise section. So here is exercise for working with the abstract class. You have to define a database class as an abstract class. So you define an abstract class called database class. In this, you define two methods, set connection and get connection, with two properties, connection and connection active. Then you create a DB connection class which extends from this abstract database class, and then you implement those methods in the DB connection class. Okay, I'll leave you with the implementation. You can just try out this example, create a good format of how to write an abstract class and how to write a class and extend from an abstract class and how to implement those classes. Okay, so pause this video here, do this exercise, then you can continue watching the video. Okay, so instead of creating the exercise, we can go to the materials folder, abstract classes. We copy this file and then we'll review this program. Okay, so first thing, we'll create an abstract class called database, and we mentioned with the keyword called abstract. We have defined two properties, connection and connection active. Connection active is false, basically it is an boolean variable. Then you have set connection and get connection. If you pass the DB name, it will set the connection, and if you want to get the connection, it will return the connection for you. Now you have a DB connection class which extends from this abstract class, and then you implement those set connection and get connection. Okay, and implementation is basically just to show off that how do you write this structure. You make the connection active and then you set the connection, you get the connection handler to the database, and then you can do that activity. Then for the getting the connection, if connection is active, you return the connection. Okay, and when you create the instance, you can create the instance of a DB connection. you can pass in the database name, and then you can get the connection. Okay, the most important thing that you have to understand is the abstract class actually holds all the properties of your database. Okay, because no one can create an instance of it, only the child class can get an extent of it and then implement those connections. This is a very good example on an abstract class, because you can define what methods you want a child class to be implemented. Let's say you're defining a project and you don't want to have an inconsistency in your programming style, right? You want to have a consistency and you want to implement same methods for all your projects. In that, you have to define your abstract class and you forget about the implementation. The implementation you can do for per project, and every project you do, you extend this abstract class. By doing that, you will get to know the method names, and then you have to implement the same method names. And then this becomes a helper class, right? If you want to really do something with implementing some methods here, you can also implement the methods here, right? And then you can actually access them directly from the DB connection. Okay, you can check connection active. Okay, you don't have to do this method implementation in the DB connection. This is a generic concept. So right, you can do that implementation directly database, and your child class now actually get this method automatically for you. So by using this instance itself, you can check the DB connection, right? And you don't have to implement for every database connections that you're connecting. You just extend this database, and all the method that is defined here is accessible, and it's generic. It's a library, it's a utility. You can write it once and then it's available for you to access everywhere. And it also help you to organize your way that you write the code. It gives you some guidelines so that you follow it for all your projects. You just have to make sure your database class is basically defined as an abstract, and you follow a same pattern for all your projects. Okay, so interface also give you this feature, but the whole challenge of interface is you cannot define a method there. If you want to write some helper classes inside the same class, then you go it with an abstract class. Okay, I hope the concept is very clear and you are able to do this exercise. Try to use this concept in your programming style as well. Try to create some abstract classes and reuse for all your projects. This way you get to have your own utility build up, your own standard build up, which you can replicate across all your projects. Okay, so that's all on this lecture on exercise on creating a database class, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the assignment section. In this assignment, we will try to do the same assignment we did in interface, but we'll try to change the phone class as an abstract class. Okay, this way you get to learn the abstract class, how to define them, how to declare them, and do it without seeing the code. Okay, that's the whole intention of an assignment and exercise. In exercise you get to watch the solution as well, and you can choose to ignore the exercise. But in assignment, it's a must that you practice it and make sure you do it without seeing the code. Okay, so you open up the editor, try to use this assignment and try to implement it. Once you implement it, you can take the code, paste it over the assignment section. So I'll see and verify, and I'll provide my feedback to you. Okay, so do this exercise, convert your interface that you created previously into an abstract class, and try to define some methods there and see how the concepts you are able to implement in your own programming style. Okay, so that's all for this lecture on assignments, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the summary section of abstract class and methods. So by now you should be able to understand what is abstract classes and methods. You should know how to declare them, and you should also understand what is the difference between abstract and non-abstract methods. You should know how to extend an abstract class in a child class, and you should know the real life use cases of an abstract class. And I hope you have worked through exercises, resources, assignments and quiz to understand this concept better. Okay, so that's all on this lecture of abstract classes, and I'll see you in the next one.